How do we possibly top Bear Wife? Before we get to today's video, I want to take a moment to talk about Patreon. That's right, we are on Patreon now, and we have a bunch of tiers with a bunch of great rewards. You can subscribe and get things like early access to all reactions, depending on your tier, depends on which reactions you get early access to. You can vote on polls exclusive to patrons that will help determine future reaction series and more. You will get to just have various choices in terms of like getting to choose future reactions I react to, getting to choose first impressions I check out, all kinds of different rewards, and possibly more coming in the future. We're still new at this. We're still figuring things out. It's a process. It's a process. But we have multiple tiers, so whatever you would be able to donate, if you're able and willing to donate, is appreciated. It helps me out, it helps the channel out, it helps us grow. It's going to help just, standardly. It's just something new to check out. Plus, if you like getting the reactions early, that's also a plus. But it is optional. If you're unable to do it, that's completely fine. All reactions will come to YouTube just a little bit later, a week later or so. So that all being said, thank you as always so much, and let's get on with today's video. And with that being said, hey everyone, welcome to Princess of Gay. I am like a mess. I'm your host, Connie, and we are here today with my blind reaction to episode 15 of Disenchantment. I'm excited to get to this. Last time we had Grog? Grog doesn't sound right, does it? The king, Bean's father, basically being super depressed and lonely and trying to find something and someone. He ends up falling in love with this forest selkie who she's normally a bear, but she can take off her skin, her bear fur, and become human. Selkie powers and all of that. And she's actually, kind of a perfect fit for him, but the biggest problem is, he lives in dreamland, she lives in the woods, and they can't really be together. She had, like, the longer she stays out of the woods, it's like the worse her mental health basically becomes. I actually mean that. Like, you really saw that last episode. But it's one of those things where it just, everything seems like they're perfect for each other, but it's just like the circumstances of, him being the king of dreamland and her being a forest selkie, it just doesn't work, unfortunately. And so they weren't able to stay together. Bean is trying to figure out what's going on with her dreams involving her mother. There's some kind of like maybe message there. And Elfo and Lucy were just pining for the heart of the female elf. I can't remember her name right now. And it's a matter of, well, she ended up just choosing herself in the end. She chose self-love and respect over the need to be with any quote-unquote bad boy. Now, you may notice things look different here on screen. There's a number of reasons for it. First of all, we got new furniture. Our old couches, you may remember, I've talked about being in like disrepair to the point where like even to get up and stuff, like I was sinking into the couch, so it took me a lot to get up. And when I was sitting there, it wasn't super comfortable. Well, we got new couches, so they're smaller. Like you might notice, like the back of this doesn't go super high. This is the 2-seater I'm on right now. We have a 3-seater, which is literally right across from me. I'm looking at it right now. The dog is on it. The back goes up further on that one. But I'm probably going to be like recording over here most of the time because We also switched around how our overall setup is here. Where I'm sitting right now is directly across from the window. I was sitting before that way. Like I was over that in that direction before, which is now where the TV is. I'm sitting where the TV used to be. Basically this love seat, the two-seater, and the TV have switched places. Um, the three-seater's where it's always been. But this is going to be interesting for a number of reasons for recording. One of the notable ones is that when the sun sets, we're not going to have as much of an issue with it blasting in the window at me. Because when the sun is setting, the direction the light blasts is over towards the TV, where the TV's at now. So that's actually going to help me be able to record a little longer without having to like be bleached out by the sun. We're also planning on getting blinds instead of the really thin, cheap curtains we currently have. Don't know when that's going to happen yet. The furniture was the bigger thing, and that was more important. So we wanted to focus on that. But otherwise, it's like I guess the just general setup is mostly going to be the same. I'm still gonna be like here talking to you during reactions or during the like pre-thoughts and post-thoughts. And during reactions, I'll still be like, doing my normal thing. Nothing's really changing with that. It's mostly just the setup of everything. The way things are set up. But with the way this is set up currently, I'm actually kind of looking in the right direction if I'm looking at my computer screen right now. To where it's like it works for the direction of looking towards where the for the reaction screen. Because I'll be facing more this way. Looking towards this direction, because the on the reaction screen, my face cam will be like in the top left corner. You know what I mean. I don't know why I'm trying to explain this and failing. But yeah, I think we should get into this reaction nonetheless. I just wanted to show off things here. You can see the side table over here. I might put something on here to like decorate to show in the background, maybe switch it up every now and again. I don't know yet. There's going to be a few things that go into that, but like one thing you'll notice during reactions is I'll be grabbing, like if I have a drink, I'll be grabbing it from this side instead of over on this side. Ginger ale with vodka, if you're wondering, by the way. But just little things like that. Little differences. Don't make that big of a change. It might actually be a bigger change for gaming content over on that channel. I'm not 100% sure how that's going to go yet, but we'll see. Things might be a little trickier with that. I don't know yet. But for the time being, I think we're just going to get into today's reaction and see what we have in store. So let's check it out. Hold up just a sec. Before you click that link down in the description below to get to today's video, I want to remind you of all the awesome content we have both on this channel and the Princess of Gaming channel. Let's check it out. Welcome to the Afterthoughts, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So I didn't mention this during the reaction, but for those of you on Patreon who didn't see the pre-thoughts, you may notice different background and stuff. Try to keep this simple, keep it short. We got new furniture. You may notice like the back design of the couch. It also doesn't go up as far as the previous two-seater I was on, love seat, whatever the fuck you want to call it. And on top of that, on top of being on a new couch here, I'm also in a new location. I'm directly across from the window. I used to be over on that wall over there, which is where the TV is now. Um, so hopefully we shouldn't have any issue with like the sun when it's setting and everything coming and blasting at my face during reactions and other videos. Um, I don't know if it's going to come with any other kinds of issues, but we'll tackle that as we get to it. This is new and I'm still figuring everything out, so just keep that in mind. This was a episode if I'm being completely honest. Most of the episode just didn't do it for me. The entire thing with the dude being like a fake adventurer and just being like this timid boat captain, it's just like didn't really do anything to like invest me until the end. The ending bit with the ogre queen helping them escape for some reason and then finding out that she's very possibly, based on context clues, Elfo's mother. I feel like that's the only really interesting part. I mean, I like the opening too, with like, everybody naked washing clothes, but that's also partially just because, Bean was one of them and I'm attracted to Bean. It's like seeing her lay there like on the side of the castle wall and everything, just all majestic like and basking in her nudity and sexuality. It's just like, you go, girl. It's like that's very hot, but also it's like I really do like her just genuinely basking in that. Futurama had a lot of nudity where it was like, because it took place so far in the future, the entire idea was that nudity in that time was not like stigmatized anymore. People would get nude in front of each other like constantly without really any need for a reason or an excuse. And no one was shy about it. No one was, really worried about, what someone else might think of their body and everything. Which is, a nice thought, genuinely speaking. Having like a society, a culture like so steeped in just self acceptance and an overall bodily acceptance without having to overly sexualize it is kind of an ideal in my eyes. It's something that kind of similar to, just wanting people in general to be more like naturally accepted without having to explain and express themselves in specific ways. It's kind of like that. It's like just people in that kind of culture being able to just be nude around each other without like ogling each other or thinking about it. It's kind of like an ideal nudist colony situation. And I really just like that concept. Because it's very affirming, honestly. And as someone who does have issues with my body, it's kind of the ideal like emotional mood setter for making me feel better about my body. And it's like you have the aspect of male person here. She'll shut up in a second. You have the aspect of like, yeah, you can acknowledge that people are attractive. But the idea of them just being able to be naked in front of each other without like being too worried about it. And like the one person who does like ogle Bean, it's like she just like shoots him and all with like the little crossbow. It's like I just like that. It was a nice scene. The male person's coming back, so I guess he forgot something. I don't know. Um, yeah, I must have just forgot something when he was over here before. Anyway. But other than like basically the very opening and the very ending, it's like the stuff with the elves and all, it's like I think that this part of the season is trying to like make us care about the elves more outside of Elfo, because we're getting a lot of them right now. And with them kind of coming to live in Dreamland, it makes sense. But the problem is I don't care about them yet. Outside of Elfo, I couldn't give two shits about them. Especially, honestly, with the way they treat Elfo. That honestly kind of irritates me. But, yeah, it's just they're not interesting, they're not investing, they're not super likable for the most part. I just can't really get into that. And then, again, the entire stuff with handsome Hugh or whatever the fuck his name was. It's like I didn't give a shit up that he died because I didn't give a shit about him either. He just came out of nowhere, was bragging about his exploits, which we found out were fake anyway. And then he just kind of left, and next time we saw him, he was just ahead. His body had been eaten. And he felt like a throwaway character, and he basically was. And so it's like nothing surrounding him I cared about. Like most of the stuff with the ogres and everything and getting the fruit to save the elves, it's like I just didn't really care. Again, it really comes down to the elves have not been given a reason for me as a viewer to care about them yet. Or I guess I worded that terribly. I have not been given a reason to care about the elves as of yet. And so having an episode dedicated to trying to save them and dedicated to just overall that kind of entire thing, not really something I care about. And only the opening and ending of the episode actually mattered at all to me, to really any degree. So it's like, it's not like a terrible episode. It's just for where the series is at and what it's done, it's an episode I just don't really care about. Believe me, there are episodes of shows that I actively dislike. This is not that. This is not me hating on the episode because it does something bad or it messes up a character or whatnot. No. This is just, I just didn't care for most of it. Like, they didn't even do anything particularly interesting with the ogres, again, except for the queen at the very, very end. Like, the ogres otherwise were just ogres. They were so stereotypical ogres. There was nothing unique or interesting about them. And so it's like they felt like, unfortunately, very generic and bland to me. But maybe that's just me. This episode I think is the weakest of season 1 part 2 so far. The episodes we've had since we came back to this. But like I said, it's not bad. It's just very mid. It's like a 5 out of 10 basically, because it's like there's nothing bad about it. There's nothing insulting. There's nothing like negative really. It's just it's it just doesn't interest me for the most part. But hey, we got sexy Bean in this, and that's a positive at least, right? And other characters too. I did it say her name? I don't remember if it said her name, but the handmaiden who was there washing clothes and everything, the thick handmaiden who has cared for Bean in the past. I'm kind of into her too, honestly, if I'm being honest. Um, I can get really into some into some thick people as well. I like some thickness sometimes. It's not always just like super muscular buff characters. Sometimes I can get into thick characters too. And, any other body type. It just, depends on the character. There's a lot that goes into that. But yeah. Either way, tell me your thoughts on this episode down in the comments below. Thank you so much, as always, for tuning in. And for now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.